Good morning and welcome to Ask the Accountant, episode 173. It is the 23rd of February. My name is Johann Goree, and as per usual, it is Monday morning at 8:30 in the morning. So we are around our microphones talking all things accounting and bookkeeping industry news. This is a podcast for accountants and bookkeepers supported by our Patreon community. Speaking of which, we start each and every show with a shout out to our coolest of cool listeners, who are Paul Whitehouse, Kirsty St. John, Mahul, Millie, and Peter. Thank you very much for your continued support of Engager.
Engager?
If you want to show your support for our channel,
whoa.
What?
Support of Ask the Accountant. Don't go pushing the Engager bandwagon down their throats. You just said continue support of Engager.
Sorry, Ask the Accountant. That is a fraudulent slip. Sorry. To show your support for our channel and the content we are creating, while also getting some bonus content and an opportunity to be on the coveted list that I've just gone through, join our Patreon page via the links below. Aaron, how are you? How was your week? And what did you get up to over the weekend?
What a weekend I had. Well, first of all, I had my first day off since the old January madness. Well, Christmas Day, I think, was the last one I had first. But I went down to London. We got the opportunity to go and play a game called, or go to a place called Bounce. So it's an AR interactive ping pong solution. Absolutely, if you've got a chance to do it, highly recommend it. Like, you have these little projections on the ping pong table that you're trying to hit, and all this that, and the other, and you can imagine like they
sounds right up your street.
Yeah, it was amazing, absolutely amazing. And we watched unfortunately the rugby, but I was watching that during the same time. And then yesterday got to see a little guy called Landon Norris, and I was actually free like rows from the front. So I literally was like front side in the Apollo Theatre. He was talking all about his last season. Zach Brown was there as well. All that sort of stuff. It was absolutely amazing. And I got a dishoom and an honest burger. And today,
anyone would think it was your birthday, Aaron.
Exactly. And then today I am off to dishoom breakfast as well. Oh, and then I got this shirt off the BW team, because obviously they want me to embrace orange now. So, yeah, I think it's quite useful that McLaren's orange, right? Like, it's worked out quite well for me that get to fully embrace it. So yeah, no, very, very good. It's been a fantastic weekend, and yeah, back to the grind today, which is good. So good.
Good. My weekend was not so fantastic. I've spent the last 3 days nurturing a man flu.
Oh, no.
I think I've had about 24 hours sleep in 2 days and spent a lot of money on my own little pharmacy. But the good news is I'm almost cured. So medicate it, nuke it with the medication, and you'll be fine.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Vocal zones at the ready.
Yeah, absolutely fine. But yeah, and I got my solar panels installed last week as well. So a whole new set of data to be enjoying. I've very much enjoyed that. And I feel like spring's here. Like, the sun yesterday, like, even though I was on my deathbed, yesterday afternoon I had to go out and do some gardening for an hour just to take advantage of the weather. So yeah, spring is well and truly on its way. Like, I had to walk the dogs.
The only reason you know spring's here is because you can see the positive impact on your electric bill. Is how it is.
I put double digits into the grid yesterday, so that's a sign of spring when you start getting more money giving electricity to the grid.
When you going to do a P&L account for it? Have you got one set up yet? Or
I did have to check at what point you have to start declaring the income as taxable. So yeah,
I assume it's the £1,000 mark, like everything else. But
yes, it is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
and at what point you have to start doing MTD on it?
Wow. But yeah, and then I took the dog for a walk this morning before the podcast, and it was daylight. It's like, oh,
makes a difference, doesn't it? Yeah.
So yeah, very, very much looking forward to the nicer weather and brighter days. Not just because
And
it now
better
it's my
bank balance by the sounds of it.
yeah. Yeah,
Which is what
silver
you're more
lining,
bothered about.
the silver lining of a solar panels on a sunny day in Scotland in the summer when it's daylight from 4 a.m. till 11 p.m. is the bank balance gets lined. So happy days. Right, we are nothing if we are not here for our community. So let's go through our community's comments this morning already. Good morning, everyone. Sunny Cambridgeshire, Kirsty St John at 8:30 on the dot, followed by Cheryl saying good morning. Chilly but not raining here in the South Yorkshire. Fantastic. It's dry here. It's lovely. Morning from Paul Whitehouse saying morning all. More to bookkeeping says good morning, everyone.
Just to say, we've got overcast in London, so
oh, blue skies and sunshine here in Edinburgh. Good morning says everyone says more to bookkeeping. Mahul says good morning from sunny London.
Are you sure, Mahul? I want you to recheck that statement, please. Because in
part of London. Is yours is it overcast or is it smog at your end?
No, it could actually be just poison cloud. If anyone can find out what it's like in Derby for me, that'd be great.
Mahul says happy birthday, Aaron. More to bookkeeping, t-shirt on and door open for the kitchen in Salisbury. Spring is coming. Love it.
It does feel better, doesn't it? It feels better when you just put a t-shirt on, isn't it? Definitely.
Yeah. And it's my dog's favourite time of year, spring into autumn, when the kitchen doors just slid open. They can just come and go as they please. Very happy dogs. Kirsty St John says, happy birthday, Aaron. It was mine yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday to Kirsty. Enjoy it. I mean, all the best people are born in February. I share my birthday with Amy Copeland as well, don't I? So happy birthday to Amy Copeland as
well. Sue Green says, good morning. Paul Ingram, good morning. I can hear you today. My ears were blocked last week. Oh, there's nothing worse. Glad you're feeling better though, Paul. Paul Whitehouse says, I do support Engager too. So, good. That's what we like
was
to
it
hear.
A slip of the tongue there? That's what there'll be a debate going through.
I'm on so many webinars these days with Engager. You just think, oh. Rinse and repeat now. Mahal says, belated happy birthday to Kirsty. Lisa Mulholland says, morning. Mahal says it's rain is expected later in London. I think it's going to hit your part of London quicker than it's going to hit his by the sound of it. Hazam says, good morning. Juliet says, morning all. Lovely in Gateshead this morning. And
nice.
I'm going to butcher this name. I do apologize. Shabam says, happy birthday, Aaron. There we go.
Thank you very much.
And coming in at 8:29 this morning, Stephanie Marshall saying, happy birthday, Aaron Patrick. Brilliant. Right. We have got a lot to go. We've got a lot to go through. And we've got something that no one else is covering. Like, we've had to do some fact checking this morning to make sure this is all true before we start spreading malicious rumors. And I don't understand why other organizations aren't covering this. But
yeah,
Aaron, I'll give you tribute for this because you found it and you brought it in and said we need to fact check it, but I've heard this. And that's a new way of reporting dividends in SA 100s from this year onwards.
Yeah, it's like Big Brother is watching all over again, isn't it? Yeah, so apparently there's going to be new disclosures from the 25-26 tax year onwards. And an individual who is a director of a close company, so let's be honest, 90% of our client base, well, definitely ours anyway, and I'm sure a lot of people listening, most of us are dealing with close companies, right? Like that's like bread and butter for most of us. But yeah, if you are a director of a close company going forward from 25-26, you're going to need to put additional information, which include the name and registered number of the close company, the amount of dividends received from the close company, which must be declared separately from other dividends, and details of the highest percentage of share capital held in the year. Now, fingers crossed, software is going to help us deliver this and going to try and make this as smooth as possible. But that's a big change, isn't it? Like that is definitely an opportunity for them to be more mindful of putting, of
You
of being
can't
able
just
to,
lump it all in one box anymore and move on.
exactly. And
TaxCalc's got working tools in there that will help you break it down, and you can state the dates and share amounts and stuff. So that's not a huge issue for TaxCalc because they've already got that. But it
I
doesn't.
would imagine,
It then creates one bulk number that goes onto the SA 100 because that's all it asks for.
yeah, exactly. And I imagine, someone like TaxCalc later down the line, would be able to do a bit more of an automation for you, right? If you declare it in your accounts, potentially there's a chance to link it. Yeah, yeah. Not saying from day one, but I can imagine with a nice ecosystem like that, that's something that could be achievable, right? But it definitely comes back to, I think, as an industry, we've been a little bit lax with like declaring dividend. It's always been a, let's just wait till the year end. Let's see what dividends we need. Let's make sure it's not over the P11D rules. Let's make sure it's not section 455, blah, 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 blah. Go through your checklist and we come up with a number, right? That's fair, that we think is the right figure for the client, etc., etc.
How many people actually create a dividends voucher?
Yeah. Oh, well, exactly.
Probably very few.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I think now, is this the first step of us going more real time? Because if they're starting to gather this data now, is this not predefined so that they can go more real time with it? So is this something that going forward you have to declare with your payroll or with your MTD or whatever mechanism they want from it, right? Like, I can see a world where this is about data gathering to see how much of a, is it worthwhile then bringing in a new system for declaring this or not? Because why else are they like wanting to spread this out other than, I suppose, to make sure people are actually compliantly doing it, right?
Yeah. So this is taking impact in the 25-26 year, which means from April this year to January next year, that's the reporting period for that.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd have thought they'd have announced this about a year ago in line with the start of that tax year so you can start being proactive with it. But never mind.
No.
Is it because there is so much tax to be had there going forward at 10.75% that they want to make sure that things are being done properly?
Potentially. I mean, they even went as far as saying that although the rules don't take effect from the 6th of April 2025, there's going to be when it does come in, if the taxpayer fails to supply the additional information on returns from that year onwards, they could be charged a £60 penalty for each failure.
Oof.
So yeah,
just
feels like a painful, because people not knowing that, they're just gonna, imagine in a scenario where you only do like a couple of tax returns a year or something, and it's like you've been doing it for whatever, right? And you just go fill it in where you always filled it in because that's all you've ever done, right? And then suddenly £60 penalty comes down on your door. So yeah, painful to say the least.
Not good. Morning, Nick Moss, who says, in TaxCalc, you can already push dividends from accounts production directly into the director's tax return, exactly as you suggested, Aaron.
Oh, there we are. Already built it. Well
done. Over this.
Took them 3 minutes.
Yeah.
From request to done.
But yeah, that'll help a bit. But then obviously you've still got to declare shareholdings and stuff like that. So there'll be work to be done. But it baffles me that this hasn't been picked up by anybody. Like,
yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
So that's why some of the governing bodies are talking about it in blogs and stuff, but that's it. Like, none of the big accounting media outlets have done any articles on this that I've seen. I might have missed them, but I couldn't see anything. So yeah, this one could catch us out, and hopefully there'll be some sessions in Fab, Accountex, etc., to go through this and explain what it's required and stuff like that.
Yeah, because ideally we want them on our checklists for this year, right? I know we don't need to disclose it this year, but like start training your clients on the additional information. If it's a close company you're not dealing with, right, then I'm sure we've got a handful of clients where, they've got another business with another thing, with another accountant, and now suddenly we're going to need that information to be able to complete their tax return, right? And yeah, it just feels like like you said, not enough people are talking about, it, not enough people are preparing for it. But this is quite a major shift in an area that it's not had a change for a long time, like
And is
multiple
this
years.
going to see, like, so Paul said, could be a long list for serial investors. It could, if they're not investing via limited companies. So if they've got a holding company that does all the investment, then none of this is applicable anyway. But then how long until that becomes compliant, required in a CT 600, for example? Whilst company dividends aren't taxable, are they going to want to start seeing transparency there?
Just to trace it, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that's, if you're an individual with shares in multiple companies, that could be a lot of hard work. Especially if your tax return software doesn't remember the detail behind the last year's tax return. So when I generate a new tax return in TaxCalc, it says, do you want to use the base data that came from last year? It's like, yes, I do. And it'll come in with all the, right, these are the dividend companies you declared for last year. Do you want to update dates and amounts and stuff? Like, that makes life a lot easier and a lot more efficient the more you use it. But not all tools have that. So
yeah,
it's going to need a lot more development on some of the more basic tax return tools out there, like, in the hope that it makes it more efficient. Otherwise, I think a lot of accountants and bookkeepers are going to start looking at, well, actually the price on the tin doesn't really matter anymore. It's how efficient it can make me that matters, which is something like you and I have always looked at. Like, we've always been on cloud software because you and I saw beyond the price on the tin of the cloud payroll software. We saw the bigger savings in the bigger picture, which many never did. And the amount of arguments and debates you and I have had with people over that over the years. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes.
I know it's tinfoil hat, but I just see this as the starting point of way more disclosure and way more updates of this sort of thing going forward. I generally can see an idea that, you know, close company dividends going forward will have to be declared in some sort of real time. Like, I just see that as why wouldn't they want that? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't they want that sort of information to be declared and put through and everything else? And I just see it as something.
If that's the case, then actually, is it slowing us down in our tax return production? Do we need to increase our prices to take into account that? Like, historically, dividends declaration, in theory, if we just added it all up and stick a number in, we weren't doing it in detail. That was a 30-second job. Now, actually, do we need to increase how much we charge for dividend aspects of the tax return?
Yeah,
it has a lot of knock-on effects.
Yeah, 100%. And at what point is it going to be, that MTD is if you record, you receive close company dividends, if it's over the 50, 30, 20, whatever the rate going to be, if they try and bring this in, like, is that going to be do we have to declare that on a quarterly basis
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if
I can see that world. Yeah, especially if they want to bring in quarterly payments to go with it. Like, that'd be a huge boom for the offers, wouldn't it? That you can bring that in on a quarterly basis, and you can, thing in, and it becomes less of a quote magic number that us accountants and bookkeepers create on an annual basis, and more of a actual real remuneration package, right? And it becomes a proper element that's paid on a quarterly basis. I can just see that as
it's going to take a lot more planning and consideration behind it.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. Well, watch out for that one, ladies and gents, when that one hits the news, because we're going to need to see a lot more detail behind that to understand it, and we're going to need to be asking questions of our software providers to make sure that they're going to be up to speed in time. Because when was that announced? Like,
all over the place from what I can see. I mean, this one I'm reading here is that an American? I think that's an American date. ATT, how dare you? 13th of the 3rd, 2025. So a while ago.
Oh, so how is it? Yeah. So it's been public knowledge for a year, but I'm not hearing anything about it. Maybe all the MTD stuff's drowning it out or something.
That's it, isn't it? There's definitely bigger ones, but I generally think as a recommendation, get it on your tax return questionnaires for this year. Like start preparing for it, right? Like start preparing.
Yeah.
You know, we always do
tax return questionnaire.
Anything outside of BOFIX or BW, whatever, you know, if you have dividends outside of, then here's a database to fulfill for us. You know, everything inside we'll be able to declare for you and everything else. Like, you're paying us to do it. But yeah, if it's outside of our thing, we need this amount of information. And gather that information now, right? Get them kind of adjusted to this new world of shareholdings. You know, what was the criteria? Shareholdings, the registered number, and and your dividends declared separately.
Yeah, makes sense. Update your tax return forms now, people. Getting ready for it.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Next bit of news. There's been an announcement from Teleroo and Zama, which is quite an interesting one and quite logical. Teleroo and Zama have announced that if you have taken and done your client's AML checks and ID verification through Zama, and then you apply for an account, or the client applies for an account for Teleroo, they will not need to redo their ID verifications as part of the AML process for applying for an account with Teleroo, which saves a bit of duplication out in the grand scheme of things. It makes sense. We've always had clients say, well, I've just done the ID verification for this. Why do I need to do it for this as well?
Yeah.
It's like, well, everyone's got to do their own AML checks and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, makes complete sense. Interesting, because when I've spoken to people like AML experts in the past, they've said, oh, but that puts a responsibility and a liability that you are trusting the provider that's done it. So clients have said to me, like, oh, well, I've already done this for the bank. It's like, yeah, but that relies on the bank doing this right.
Yeah.
So I can't just assume that they've done it right. So I'm curious as to how they've worked that liability out in legal terms and stuff, but we'll never know that, I imagine. But from a client perception and a way of working, a genius move.
Mm-hmm.
It saves a bit of friction on applying for new accounts, and that's always a good thing. Your thoughts on it?
Well, it makes the decision making, doesn't it, of which, because mostly people are using Teleroo for payroll payments, right? Like as a
payroll and bill payments,
yeah. And I know they do really well on the bill one as well. But I think, like, if you think of Teleroo, I think the first thing most people would think of is that payroll workflow, isn't it? Of, we do your payroll. Here's a nice little slick way where you can pay your employees as well, all through there. Like, it makes that decision maker, because normally at the moment, personally, we are going through what software integrates directly with Teleroo or some of the others. Now, if we can also, like, save that time of having to onboard them as well, it just, it becomes that decision making, doesn't it, of which one? Because we were kind of talking off air, weren't we, about like prices of software for this and this and this. Sometimes it becomes almost not like irrelevant, but it becomes less of an issue for you, because you should just be building it into your processes and systems and fees and everything else, right? It should be part and parcel of it. So if, system A is 5% more than system B, sometimes that doesn't really equate. Like we've already said, like, if we can get efficiencies elsewhere and everything else. And I think this just becomes part of that decision making now, doesn't it? Like, you've taken on this new client, they've given you indication that they want you to help them do the payment side of thing as well. That's going to be a massive, like, business add to them, and really going to help you kind of help them. Then why not have this seamless integration where, well, we've already done the ID, and I assume, and like, this is like tinfoil hat, we don't know the ins and outs of it, but I assume both Teleroo and you, because they're using the same overall platform in the back, and because they've kind of got that API connect, they can kind of extract it and can verify themselves if it's up to the standards or not the standards, right?
Does this standard only get met because if you've used the NFC chip reading part of it?
You can imagine it, wouldn't you? Yeah.
But at that point, then does Teleroo start partnering up with other ID verification services, going, look, if if your clients have already done up to this level of checks, then actually we can wave it through. I mean, I imagine there'll be other companies out there suddenly looking at this going, okay, that's interesting. How the hell have they got around this compliance issue?
Yeah.
Let's work it out, because it's one of the pain points for any payments provider, whether it's money in or out, is ID verification. So, how have they done it? Right, if it's up because of the NFC tag or whatever the USP is here, that's made it suddenly, because if AML checks, if the old version without the NFC check were up to standard, then why wasn't this done before now?
Yeah.
The main change is Companies House requirements for NFC checks. Has that brought the standard of checks to a high enough level now, when you do it to that level, that they can waive the compliance part through? So yeah, this could be a very interesting first step that I think we'll see others doing.
Yeah, definitely. And especially, I mean, do you want to jump into the next story as well? Because I think it's all related, right? Because that new portal, do you want to talk about that?
Yes. Yeah, so Zama's also got their portal. It's been available for a few weeks, if not a couple of months now. Yeah, and we've just not managed to cover it. We keep running out of time on a weekly show. We might need to do more weekly shows, because the amount of topics we move on from. But yeah, so I've not looked at it in detail yet. I've not used it. Have you? I think you've got a bit more understanding of how it all works. So
yeah, I've not had the chance to play around with it, but I've seen kind of screenshots and everything else. And there was a webinar this week as well that I think was well attended. But it's just that principle, isn't it? And the way I see it, and I think, again, it's strange, isn't it? I feel like some of these software enhancements lately have all come. It's almost felt like they're coming because our practices have grown to that point where we need this sort of functionality. Whereas I don't think I've ever would have worried about it before, but nowadays, because of ACSP and because of the new changes and even this new Telaroo kind of integration kind of makes sense, right? And this whole functionality is that you can effectively generate a portal or a web page or whatever you want to call it, so that when you're doing your AML for multiple directors and multiple PSCs and all that sort of stuff, you can send one link to, say, the admin or the head PSC or the head director or whatever it's going to be. You can send it like a link to one of them and almost pass that baton on to them to then go out and collect them all and keep on top of it and everything else. And I think that's quite big pain point solved there, isn't it? Because at this moment in time, for me to take on, and we've even in the Bofix world, we don't take anyone on that's more than 5 directors. Like, that's a no for us. We're lucky we can pass them on to BW and we can pass them around the group and stuff. But Bofix it's one of the criteria of becoming a Bofix client is you have less than 5 directors, because we just, in Bofix, well, we can't absorb that extra administration and all the work that goes with it and having to keep on top of it and all that sort of stuff, right? But something like this, maybe we can reconsider that. Maybe there's an opportunity for us to open the door for that now, because it does take that administration burden away from you, isn't it? Where you can go, right, I've got a checklist of all these people that need to be verified. I'm going to pass it to one person. They're going to get it done for me. They're going to keep on top of it. They're much better at doing that because they have that, relationship with them. They'll probably see them in the same room or whatever it's going to be, right? I really see that. And then, this whole friction-free world that seems to be created because of this Telaroo deal, that's actually quite a nice little feature that I think will be quite beneficial to a lot of people. But prior to this year, I would never have even considered it as a want, right? It would never have been on my list.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's a really positive, especially for when you've got charities with tens of trustees, if not hundreds of trustees, and you've got someone responsible for that, for chasing it, that's not in your firm. Like, ideal, absolutely ideal. Yeah, no, interesting, and it's good to see continued innovation in the AML space. And
it is.
Yes, we've got new compliance, which is a bit of a pain in the backside in the form of NFC tags and stuff. But actually, it's good to see the firms, software companies out there coming up with opportunities to add value and to make life easier because of this new requirement. So yeah, very, very cool idea. Very, very impressed with that.
We're not positive on Company's House, so are we? Let's
no. No. This is gold coming out of, quite frankly, shit rollout and deployment from Company's House. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Let's not put them off the hook. We're not giving them a pass, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Once again, it's down to everyone else in the world to find the shining light out of compliance implied by Company's House or HMRC.
100%.
But yeah, now speaking of finding opportunities in compliance, Free Agent have launched a new update to CIS, which is I'm sat there going, why the hell's no one else done this before? It's so bloody obvious.
There's one person already done it before, but yeah. Majority haven't. Yeah.
So Free Agent have launched a new CIS update, which basically they've looked at how people are paying CIS, and they've realized most CIS payments aren't made because they're sent a bill. You don't get a CIS invoice and go, right, it's this much minus this much. Great, the bill's told me that I need to pay this much. Most is you owe me X on a WhatsApp or a text message or a whatever communication style, maybe a scruffy bit of paper as a timesheet or something. So Free Agent have gone, well, where's the point where we know what's happening? It's in the bank. So now you can categorize a payment from a bank without needing a bill / invoice and tell it it's CIS, and it will net it up, gross it up to the full amount, and do all the records in your Free Agent bookkeeping needed from that one payment going out of the bank. Brilliant. It's going to save so much time. This is again what comes from sitting down and listening to your users and focusing on their real pain points rather than getting caught up in marketing gimmicks of AI and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that one feature is going to save me genuine time whilst I'm waiting for everyone else to finish refining AI to the point that it's actually of value to me. So yeah, like huge kudos again to Free Agent for the way they just sit, listen, and develop the important stuff, the stuff that actually saves everyone some time on a day-to-day basis. Who else did you think does this?
Oh, QuickBooks have been doing it for a year and a bit now. So
what, from the bank?
Yeah, directly from the bank. You put it through there, you post it up, and it all grows it up for you. Yeah, that's been a year and a bit now. I want to say 18 months ago, but I think Free Agent's going to have an even better adoption of this because this is that perfect blend where you can give them the, that, because I'm guessing with this, right? But I imagine this will have that metal integration and that NatWest integration and everything else. And when you think of your CIS clients and you think of like how I don't want to be stereotypical, but they are your typical, they don't, they find digital adoption a bit of a pain in the nicest way of saying it. Whereas this, it could be as simple as, right, make sure you receive all your money into this bank account. When that money hits your bank account, you declare it as CIS income, and voila, MTD requirement done and dusted. Tick. Literally, you're just treating your money coming in to your bank and money going out from your bank directly from your bank account itself. Like, that's huge, right? And full disclosure, I don't know if Sage have this functionality or not. We don't know about that one, but we believe that Xero's not got this. That's why we were saying, like, we see this as genuine innovation, right? And genuine push for it. But no, I see this as a huge, huge, huge win. Because it, as much as like from an MTD point of view, yes, there's going to be some clients where digital adoption is going to be a pain. But for majority of the client base out there, I don't see MTD as a massive, 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 massive like pain in the backside. I feel like this is, we're going to have a bit of pain here, but overall, potentially it's going to be good for the industry because, we're going to have better access apart from CIS clients. That's going to be my big problem, right?
Yeah, and this helps.
Yeah,
this helps a lot.
Massively.
We we ran our so TaxCalc's got a built-in report. If you use TaxCalc for 24-25's tax returns, it's got a built-in report that goes, these are the clients that are impacted by 2026's MTD mandation. We've only got 35 clients impacted this year. Now, we will have more impacted next year and even more the year after. But actually, 35 is quite manageable. Like, it takes the pressure off no end. But a couple of them are CIS. And we were umming and ahhing as to where we encourage them to go. But actually, that's now sealed the deal for us. That's put them on free agent, and we'll get them onto Metal or NatWest Banking, and we're sorted.
Yeah.
All right. But ironically, if QuickBooks hadn't spent 2 years banging on about an AI release that hadn't released until recently, maybe I'd have heard about their grossing up of their CIS feature. But they were too busy telling me about an AI feature that wasn't there
I
yet.
shouted about it a lot.
Yeah, but no one listens to you, Aaron.
I'm pretty sure we spoke about it on this very show, but don't worry about it. Might have been QuickBooks Tabs, in fairness.
I was too fatigued by their AI marketing to notice anything else. But yeah, no, huge congratulations to Free Agent. Absolutely genius bit of update there to make everyone's lives easier. So yeah, very, very pleased with that. Now, everyone needs to sit down and brace themselves.
Before we jump onto that one, let's just clear some comments. So we've had this one.
Okay. So Kirsty said, I had to help a director who'd been going around in circles and eventually was told by Companies House they had to use an ACSP. Really unfair.
Yeah.
The problem is, Kirsty, it might not be Companies House's fault here, right? So I've got this client. We picked them up last year. Confirmation statement is now 3 months overdue because when they formed their own company 5 years ago, they did it with the girlfriend at the time using her maiden name and never updated the married name, even though they've been married for 2 years. He didn't put his middle name in the formation, and she put in the wrong date of birth. So come to confirmation statement this year, we go, hang on a minute, this is all wrong. They'd verified their ID using their full names, including middle names, which they hadn't used in setting up the company. She used her correct date of birth and her married name. And they've just made a complete mess because they messed it up when they did the first formation and no one spotted the issues since because they've just pushed the confirmation statement through. And they've been told they've got to use an ACSP. That's not Companies House's fault that they're stupid enough to have made that mistake and make those amount of mistakes in incompetence of filling out a form. So in that case, fair enough. And I've even turned around and said, we ain't touching this. Go and find a solicitor who will verify it or charge you a fortune because you've given me so much poor information to this point. I don't trust anything you're going to give me. And this is your mess. Go and sort it out.
Yeah, and in fairness, this is what we actually, this whole ACSP, this is what we encourage and want this to happen, right? We want this to clear up. Like we're all up for this idea. In my head, I don't understand how an ACSP will solve this issue because surely we're going to verify that yes, your name is Joe, yes, your name is Blogs, and yes, your date of birth is XYZ.
Yep,
that's still going to be wrong on Companies House.
I pointed that out to Companies House. They're already verified. The problem is you won't let us put that against this company. No ACSP can help us with that. So
they're still Joe, they're still Blogs. Like, the database on Companies House is still right. I don't understand how an ACSP is going to make that any better or any worse. Like
the other one is when they've applied for their ID and they've put in the wrong information and it's failed, and then the Companies House is saying you're going to need to go and see someone. It's because of their own incompetency to fill out a basic form with their own name and date of birth. Like, I mean, it's not a complex form. So my patience is very thin on these cases.
I mean, I know there are some, we've had a couple of like people have recently been married and, their maiden name is still on their ID, blah, 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 blah. There's all those kind of niche cases, isn't there, where there's not really much, that's just circumstance, isn't it? Like, sometimes we're within because there is a time limit, isn't there, for getting your documents updated or whatever. And sometimes they're legitimately within that time limit, or they've just forgotten this one piece of ID and everything else. You know what I mean? Like you get those niche cases. But again, why is that pushed to an? I still don't understand how an ACSP is any better off to come. What we're still verifying that they're Joe and their blogs and their date. Like, what am I missing here? That suddenly an ASAP can solve all this?
I think it's just the script. I think it's just the company's house script, because they really don't know what they're doing half the time.
And because they didn't spend time actually building this system out, and just
but didn't spend time training their staff to answer the question.
Yeah. I've got one more from Mahul as well.
Mahul says, last week I visited 2 directors that could not verify their identity with company's house on their own. Like, I had Mrs. Smith, 85 years old, verifying her ID with no problems. Like, it baffles me. It really does.
But on that Mahul instant, though, like, how much are you prepared to charge the client? Because it just feels like, it almost feels unfair, doesn't it? Like, you know, having to charge, because you've got to charge for it. That's 100%. You have to do it.
Especially with the liability you're taking. There's a reason we don't offer in my firm ACSP services.
Yeah.
But we're registered, but we don't do it purely because if we get one wrong, we can lose our registration. And it can have other side effects. Like, the rules are really strict and the punishments are really high.
100%.
And Paul says, when you find an error, you can amend the verification details, including providing evidence like a passport photo. It looks like the director's details on company's house are different from the verification details. So,
yeah, but we do that anyway, right? Like to your example of your issue, the clients figured out themselves that they've put the wrong date of birth on, they've put the wrong, that means, why do we now have to involve an ACS? I'm trying to get my head around. Like, what? I
think it's just a scripted response of, it's a pass the book option.
Yeah, exactly. But again, pass the book to a load of accountants and bookkeepers who never once signed up to it. Like, that's what gets me. Like,
weren't consulted.
I'm saying I'm happy to start providing this information for you. But
right.
Good point,
anyway,
Paul.
Stop deferring. Stop deflecting, Aaron.
Yes.
We're going to talk about this.
Oh yeah, I've got to be nice.
Everybody, brace yourselves. Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, has something nice to say about Xero. Aaron, the floor is yours.
Which one first? We've got two
things to say nice about Xero.
Lord me. So we go with the one that I think is going to affect more. Let's go with their new data capture and extraction platform. I mean, this is exactly the same as what we just talked about. This is, software solutions coming back up to, feature parity with others, right? Like, yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, within that was by default within Xero.
See, it's a problem, isn't it? I have the same problem with Engager.
Within data capture or the files area within Xero, you now have the opportunity for it to extract the information directly there using AI, using JAX, using all of that good stuff. And you think about it from how that's going to work in terms of working with your clients going forward. Yes, you've still got the opportunity to use their data solution. I always forget what it's called. What's it called? What's their HubDoc? Yes, you still have the opportunities to continue to use HubDoc if you want to, but this is going to be built directly in Xero. So from a client's point of view, they have that one Xero app on the phone. They can bring the data directly into the files area, and from the files area, you'll have this PDF document that you can press one button and it'll extract that information. What I love about this as well is that they've gone down the route of going, right, well, we could just give you a bills or receipt capture, etc. Or we could take it a step further and make it beneficial for you. And they brought in things like rental uploads and things like that. So your client will just dump in the rental information directly in there. They could extract it themselves, or you could do it as part of the service for them and get that information beautifully in as well. So absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. This is very reminiscent of what is already available in QuickBooks US. I know it's US, not UK, but I think when these sort of things become standard, I generally think this is the best workflow you can get, because you're not having to get your client to install this app and install that app and put this in and put that in, right? For the smaller clients, this is just a really clean workflow. Like your rental company rental clients, right? Like if they have got a third party doing their rental statements for them, just encourage your client to upload that on a monthly basis. That's going to be a huge step for you, isn't it? And and now that that area can extract the data for you, put it into the right place, get that thing, like we've got a really nice workflow. So yeah, absolutely love this update. I think this is really, really good, really pro like consumer workflow, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I can see a world where Xero becomes part and parcel of the AAG workflow going forward, thanks to this update.
Wow. I mean, yeah. Okay, next one. Because that's not the only thing you're positive about with Xero right now, is it?
Yeah, because I was on paper saying I don't understand where Xero fits in the MTD world. And like full transparency, I still think there are, and I'm sure like every other firm out there, we have now our little flow chart of what client and everything else and where they're going to go and everything else. But Xero I was struggling to find even any element as to why Xero should be there until I gave them the benefit of the doubt and I watched their demo of how their MTD solution works for more complicated clients. Their attention to how to deal with those complicated clients is absolutely brilliant. So, for example, if you've got multiple rental people, for a rental statement, you've got multiple people, they've got to be declared in multiple MTD solutions, for example. You can have a really slick way, all in one license, to be able to put all of them there. If you've got multiple income streams, so maybe you've got a client who's a hairdresser, for example, and has a rental property with his wife or whatever it's going to be, right? Really, really complicated situations like that from an MTD point of view can be quite painful to get your head around how you're going to workflow that. In Xero, it's just all one license. Use basically their class and locations. I forget what they call class and locations, but it's that scenario there. You map it all out, and then you can file it directly in there as well. Really, really nice, really, really slick. And yeah, suddenly we've got for our complicated ones, which actually quite a lot of those are going to be in this first, like you were saying, like 35 clients. It's either going to be in this one or next year's. Like for us, we've kind of like, we did the same report. So we've got our clients and everything and where they're affected. Then we risk graded them as well of how complicated they're going to be. And then we have like these kind of ones that are really complicated. They're going to have like a lot of headaches. And that's where, if you're not going to use software to help you kind of get over those headaches, that's where you're going to really struggle with this MTD implementation, aren't you? Because that's a painful, painful world of having to try and have multiple licenses and then moving the data from one to another and trying to do like that. That seems like it was going to be a really painful workflow, but no, Xero smashed it. They've got this really nice solution where they can have these multiple income streams. You can map them out accordingly. You don't have to have multiple licenses and move data around and everything else. Yeah, really, really impressed with it.
And can QuickBooks do that?
From a QuickBooks point of view, you have to come out of that, have multiple licenses, which I don't think they'll ever be able to avoid. I don't mind about the expensive, but it's that then you're having to have this other layer of complexity of mapping, and it doesn't always move to the right one. And
if they're a lazy sole trader that maybe they've got a sole trader bank account, but they've not got one for each sole trader and one for the property.
Yeah.
This makes life a lot easier. Whereas,
because the danger is you could double up or you can have some controls in place, right? And you exclude in one license but don't in the other, and then you're trying exactly. You're creating a mountain out of a molehill where realistically in this MTD, we'll say it and we'll say it again, like there's not enough meat on the bone for us to be like juggling this sort of stuff. In VAT world where there's value to be had, 100%, right? Like, client, partial exemption, for example, or something like that, where it's really complicated. You'll get your hands dirty and start building all these fancy spreadsheets and controls and all that, and they fully get it. MTD, we just don't have that meat on the bone to do stuff like this, right? We need software to simplify it for us and make it super, super simple.
What we're saying here is Xero have come late to the party, but have laid down a gauntlet for all of those that have been banging on about it for quite a while, because actually Xero have come and done it properly.
For that, for those more complicated ones, 100%. And
Which,
I suppose it goes back to
when
their
I've
lane.
always said to you, like, each solution's got their target audience.
Yeah.
Xero knew, I think, from day one, their target audience was going to be more complicated with multiple revenues.
Agreed.
And I think they've done a fantastic job of that.
Yeah. My only thing I would still say after evaluating it fully is I'm disappointed.
Still the wrong color, isn't it?
No, not that. No, I'm disappointed that they haven't given a solution for the smaller, more simplified clients. That I feel like
Xero simple, but
that still isn't simple, right? For a client who has yet to digitalize, that they normally haven't digitalized because they find it complicated or they find it.
Isn't that where something like TaxCalc's bridging solution comes in? Where you go, you know what? Here's a
free agents. Yeah, or free agents metal integration or QuickBooks Sole Trader, right? Like those simple, straightforward, like they don't have to know bookkeeping to be able to do the bookkeeping, if that makes any sense, right? Like
they don't have to digitalize in theory. They can maintain a spreadsheet and we can take it from there.
Or they attach a bank account or they just do it in their bank, right? Like that's, to me, that's what Xero is missing still. And I feel for the client, for the practice out there who are Xero only. That's what I'm saying. Like they're going to have to go outside their wheelhouse to be able to deliver.
If they're a Xero only firm, a lot of their clients might be quite complex, and that's why they've gone to a Xero only firm.
But you're also going to get
this plays right into their wheelhouse, and they're not interested
to have like a to rental. Do you know what I mean? Like all till now they've just, like you said, received a spreadsheet. And again, if they're Xero only, receiving a spreadsheet won't be enough because that bridging just within a Xero thing, I don't think that would work. I agree in a tax calc and everything else, but if you're just Xero,
there was a discussion in the Engager forum this weekend, and I've had a few discussions over the last few weeks about this. Of people going, "Oh, I'm going to use Free Agent, or I'm going to use QuickBooks, or I'm going to use Xero." It's like, cool.
Yeah.
What about Doris, who's 80, comes in off the street and says, "Here's my spreadsheet. How can you help?"
Yeah.
So are you going to turn Doris and her money away? Or do you have a suite of solutions that means you can support anybody?
Yeah. And for us, clearly we're gonna support anyone. We'll find a way, we'll figure it out and all that sort of stuff. But there are practices out there who are Xero or Sage or QuickBooks only, right? Like they're the ones I feel sorry for.
I think even they will look at bridging solutions as let's get them in, let's get them started, let's keep them compliant, and then we can start working with them to digitalize them over time.
I don't know.
It's a gateway.
I think we've got an easier solution, right? Because we're using accounts production and IT income tax solutions that are outside of our FMS, right? So our whole workflow is we take it to a certain standard within the FMS solution, and then we move it to another platform. Like that's always been our workflow. Yeah. If you're Xero only or Sage only or QuickBooks, whatever platform you've chosen to do, you're doing it all in that platform. So I don't know how.
I think a lot of Xero only or Free Agent only or QuickBooks only probably have an accounts.
No, that's what I'm saying. A lot of them aren't. Well. Yeah. Those who have an accounts production, they're going to be fine because they have that bridging. Yeah. But a lot of them, and I'm getting lots of like inquiries about things and stuff like that. Is they're not. They're happy that like the new generation of accountants are coming up. They just want to have it from start to finish in a Xero world, right? Or the QuickBooks world, or whatever platform they've gone for. Their expectation is they never need to leave that platform. And that's where I feel like bridging everything.
That's like saying my expectation is AI is going to do it all. In theory, in the future it can, but it's not. The technology is not there yet. Like,
but they've never needed to leave before.
QuickBooks is accounts and tax return production. It's not there yet to do everything in one place, right?
Yeah. But some practices do. Some practices, that's what they're doing. Like that is their whole workflow, right? And I just feel like MTD's put this big element where they've gone, right, well, actually, we can't deliver the whole services. We're going to have to be like picky and choosy what sort of clients we have because we can't bring them in. And my only concern with our approach of going, well, let's be software agnostic and let's bring them all in, is that we've then got to make the decision of where we're doing the income tax return at the end. Do we do it within the platform that we've chosen to do the MTD? Or I know you've made that choice that you're doing it in your accounts production tax production software, but that's not going to be available to everyone, right? And there's peaks and troughs and wins and losers of how that's going to be. And I feel like at the moment we're all concentrating on getting that first MTD quarterly submission, where actually we got to be playing 2D chess, 3D chess, 4D chess here and going, but the real question is, where am I going to file their tax return at the end of the year? Because that's going to be the most complicated and most like important aspect of all this, right? And I think that's where not enough chatters going on at the moment is actually the SA 100 or whatever. We're not even calling it SA 100 anymore, are we? Whatever it's called now.
Income tax return or annual income.
Yeah. How are we submitting that? How's that going to be submitted? Because the Xero approach, the QuickBooks and the Free Agent and the Sage are all completely different. So if you want to like embrace all of them, you've got to do training on all of them. And do you know what I mean? Like that's the bit that I'm thinking is the MTD pain point at this point in time.
So there is one other point. I think we're going to have to go into it a lot more next week. But
yes,
Briefcase and what was the other one, Circle?
Yes.
IO or something, have both launched fixed asset registers recently. And I can't help but sit there and think, you're a bit late to the party on this one, guys. Even QuickBooks has caught up and realized the importance of a fixed asset register. Now, Sage, Xero, Free Agent, fantastic fixed asset register features built into their products for many years. QuickBooks attempted something, was it last year or the year before? Not so good. Actually, you were better off without it than you were with it.
3 years ago, and it's still no good.
So, okay, maybe they've realized QuickBooks is terrible for fixed asset registers, and that's where they see the market grab. But I'm sat there going, how many people need a standalone fixed asset register for 2 new ones to go live in very short succession? Like,
yeah,
is there still a market? Is this not Sherlocked already? Like, I don't know. Like we use NetTracker in my firm, but the only one we really need to keep fixed asset registers externally from their FMS solution is for QuickBooks, or clients that are like small limited companies that are below the VAT threshold and they just use spreadsheets. Like, yeah.
Even then, do you really need a fixed asset register? If
depends on the client, but
for me, if they have a requirement for fixed asset, then surely they need some requirement for software. Do you know what I mean? Like, it almost comes hand in hand, doesn't it?
But yeah, I don't know. And looking at the pricing, neither of these solutions are cheap.
No, it's tricky.
But as I say, I think it's one for discussion next week. We'll go into a lot more detail on it. Because I don't know. I do sit there sometimes and go, I'm sorry, who have you spoken to do market research on this? Like, where have you validated the business case for this? Because this is mental.
Yeah.
Because apart from QuickBooks, as I say, that the asset register in Free Agent, Xero, it's Sage, they're more than sufficient to do what you need them to do on a monthly, quarterly, and annual basis. I don't see why you need to pay for the extra money for these on top.
And I think if they would have gone down the tax element of it as well, I could see a benefit. Like if it was, we're going to figure out your AIA and all that sort of stuff at the same, and maybe do a bit of deferred tax at the same time. Right now, I'm seeing value about. Now I'm seeing value benefits here. Yeah. Back to that whole argument that if we're paying a little bit more, but we're getting, it's solving another issue. Let's have a chat. Let's have a talk. But it seems like none of them are tackling that bit, which, also, personally, I think that's more important to us.
Also, though, with QuickBooks, well, no, let's ignore QuickBooks for a moment. With Sage, Free Agent, and Xero having their own fixed asset registers in there, and also now generating their own CT600s and accounts, it can't be long, surely, until those tools then release the ability to calculate AIA and deferred tax and stuff in their suites anyway. Because it's the one, it's just the missing gap.
They'll all need updates, I think. I think for that functionality to be confident enough, you're right. I mean, it shouldn't be too long, but I know, like the Xero one, for example, I do know a lot of people who don't use the Xero one because it's kind of missing this feature and that feature, and blah blah blah. Right? Like it is a basic fix, but that's all you need in that functionality, right? I would imagine for it to also do the it'll be great when it does, but it will need work. It will need to be brought up.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd imagine that'd be a paid for exercise, but it'll be worthwhile because let's be honest, like depreciation. And yeah, we all want to get it right, but it's not the end of the world if we don't. Like it is just it's just something we've got to do for compliance sake. What is important is we get AIA, we get you see your capital allowances. Like that's the most important bit of this to me. Of all of these fixed asset registers, should be let's nail that bit. And at the moment, it's almost like we're solving the less important part of the pie, but we're ignoring the most important part of the pie, right? Like, come on, let's concentrate on the bit where the priority is, where the money's made and where everything else. Do you want to quickly go through?
Cool. Yeah, let's go through. So Stephanie Marshall says, Aaron being nice about zero, maybe it's my birthday. I feel he was very nice today about zero. We're converting him gradually. And Stuart from Free Agent said, thank you for the shout out about Free Agent on new CIS functionality. Keep an eye out for more practice-led features relating to MTD workflow coming in the next few weeks. Well, I think we'll be having a Free Agent slot in the coming weeks, each week then at the sound of that. Stuart, thank you very much for keeping us filled up with news to talk about.
When's the Free Agent podcast coming, Johann? When is it coming? That's what the community wants. Give the community what they want.
But also, we love that free agent listening to this podcast each week and correct us and feedback to us and give us a heads up on things when they're coming out. I normally just sit and check Stu's LinkedIn feed as to what's come out that week as part of my usual research for this podcast. But yeah, fantastic. Thank you for joining as always. Cool. Well, that's it for another week. We are only 3 minutes overdue overrunning this time. Hey ho. Thank you to everyone that's joined us. Mahal says thank you both very much. Thank you for all the comments and the insights and keeping us honest and true. Aaron, what have you got coming up this week?
I mean, more importantly, in 24 minutes, 15 seconds, and whatever it is, I'm having a Dishoom breakfast. So that's my birthday sorted. So yeah, that's it. This week is actually quite a busy one. I'm off to do a load of what do you call it when you go in person to an event? What's it called? Workshops, whatever they're called. I'm going to do a lot of that for up in north into Leeds. Somehow I've been dived into going to a ladies group session as well. So we'll see how that goes.
Fantastic.
BDM and all that, isn't it? Like business development manager for anyone who's worried about what I just said there. Yeah, business development at its best. So yeah, we'll see. What about yourself, Jan? Anything exciting this week?
No, quite a quiet week at home. Oh, well, as quiet as my weeks get, you know how it goes. But working from home all week, lots of little projects spinning up and winding down and stuff. So yeah, just lots to crack on with as always.
Yeah, because conference season starts next week, which I am like, wow. Okay. I literally leave on...
the private conference for you guys is next week. Invite only. No one that has a negative word to say can go.
I leave on like the Wednesday and I don't get back until the Sunday. So I'm like, and then it's Fab the week after.
It's Fab.
Yeah. So yeah.
Looking forward to Fab and seeing everybody and starting the 2026 conference season properly there. Where anyone's
next week, but we'll talk about that next week.
Anyone's welcome to that one. Invite only to the other one, but okay. And I mean, if you keep saying positive things about Zero, you won't get an invite to that one either.
There we are.
But yeah, right, brilliant. Well, that's it from us. Thank you everyone for joining us this week, and we'll see you all same time next week to talk all things accounting and bookkeeping industry news. See you all later.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.